Welcome to the Gamers Inn. Come on in, pull up a chair next to the fire. It looks like you've had a long journey. I'm your host, Jocelyn, and joining me as always is my co-host, Ryan. Hello, Ryan.
Hello, welcome to this episode. I don't know. What do you want
Stupid,
me to say?
crazy.
They don't pay me enough to say anything clever.
Skype did that, crazy lag thing that it's been doing tonight, so I totally was like, did he hear me? What's going on?
We're live here at the helicopter. I don't know. That's morbid.
Why
Trying to
would
think
you... Oh, you could have
where
said
would it
launch
be?
of the anything.
But I said helicopter.
You said helicopter crash.
Okay, okay. Before we get started, between you and me, helicopters have got to be the worst thing to fight in video games.
That
Can
is
you?
a true statement.
Yeah, think about it. Has there ever been a helpful helicopter? They're either shooting at you, or you're in them
And
and
they
they're
crash. That's so
right?
true.
Especially if I'm the one controlling it. I mean, if you've ever played Battlefield, those things are so hard. I'm just like, I'm going along, and I was like, oh crap, oh this isn't normal, fail, and then everyone's in the helicopters like, hey, where'd our pilot go?
Oh man, I don't even
Like,
like to let you drive the ATV thing in Borderlands. I would never, ever, ever jump into a helicopter that you were the pilot of, video game or not.
that was my bad, guys. Let's try the jet next. No.
No. So what have you been up to this week? I know we have been playing some Borderlands. We kind of just hinted at that. That's actually something that we're doing every Friday night. So if you guys want to tune in after we finish up the show, usually around, what is it, 10 o'clock Eastern? Time zones get me all messed up.
Yeah, 10 o'clock Eastern, once we, go grab our drinks or whatever after this. And, it's around 10 o'clock.
Beers!
Yay! That's what Canadians drink instead of water.
Yep.
Yeah, surprised everyone gets places alive.
And
I'm
that's
drinking.
over, well, I mean, there's a couple of different places you can catch that stream. We have it over on twitch.tv/thegamersin, right? That's where you stream to. And I
Yeah.
believe our friend Swick also streams to his Twitch, does he not?
Yes, he does. He won't be joining us this evening. He's on baby duty. Um,
Oh, damn
the baby's
babies.
cute though, so we'll let it slide.
That's true. Our friends do have a lot of cute babies.
Yeah. It's like, geez, universe, what are you trying to say? Um,
So, in
but
your complete lack of baby life, what have you been playing?
oh man. Okay, I'll tell you what I've been playing. I won't get into a story, but I've been playing The Wolf Among Us.
Oh,
This
I just bought that like literally an hour before the show, and I was like, well, I could jump into it and give it a shot, but then I was like, nope, you know what? I'm gonna get sucked right in, and then I'm gonna forget there's a podcast, and that would be bad news bears. So, what do you
yeah.
think about it so far? I mean, I was kind of not thrown aback, but
Mm.
at first you're just kind of like, $25, but then I just did it.
Well, okay. I picked it up from Green Man Gaming and had a 25% off code, and I think I got it for like $16.
Damn it!
So, come on, Jocelyn.
I
Green
checked
Man Gaming.
I checked Green Man Gaming, I think last week, and they don't have. They used to have right on their front splash page. It would say
Right.
for 25% off, blah, use this code. So I was like, I went to Green Man Gaming, and there was no ad on the front page. So I
Mhm.
was just like, oh, I figured they must have discontinued the promotion or something. Because I mean, last time I used the 25% off on Green Man Gaming code, it was like, can't remember what game it was, but it was probably a good 6 months ago.
Well, are you subscribed to their emails?
No,
Okay,
I get enough spam.
I know. I was just gonna say they can get there. You can get a lot of them, but I find they're worth it. If you're trying to save money, you're best to just check the blog whenever you, you want to actually buy a game. But their emails usually come through. They have a new code once a week. It's very rare that they do not have a 25% off code for something or a 20%. Usually, how it works is it's 25% off a select amount of pre-orders, and then it's 20% off pretty much their entire catalog that doesn't have a special offer on it.
Hmm.
So at the very least, you probably could have got it for 20%. But I will ease your fears. This game is great.
Oh, good.
So paying full price, not a big deal. It is split up into 5 episodes. And the reason I said it, I wanted to explain it was great first before I went into this, is because it is made by the guys who did The Walking Dead, which I know you were not a huge fan of.
Yes, that was actually
Right.
a big thing that made me kind of go, but I have been watching a lot of Once Upon a Time and it's getting really good. And I was just like, you know what? I want more of this kind of like storybook, like fairy
Mhm.
tale stuff. And I mean, Joel's just getting into Fables, the comics. And so that's something I'm going to get into once he's done with it. Then I always get his like leftover comics. So once he's done with it, then I'll get to read it. And I'm just, I'm really in that headspace right now. So I was just like, this is actually perfect timing. And now that I know what to expect after playing Walking Dead, I think I'll probably like it more than I did The Walking Dead, because I went into
Yeah.
Walking Dead with such high expectations and not really knowing what the gameplay was going to be like. And, Walking Dead for me was such a huge letdown. So,
Yeah, that was probably my fault. When you really think about it,
gee, you
if
think?
if you listen back to the 6 months of episodes before she played it, every time we played one of those episodes, it's like, oh my God, it's even better than the last one.
Yep.
And I'm a zombie fan, and I'm a fan of good zombie content. So when something like that comes along, obviously I'm gonna talk it up. I mean, you've seen me talk about Pokemon. I've got Pokemon on the brain, guys. I've been putting little hints towards Ashley, like, oh, Pokemon sold blah 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 many copies. We'll get into that later. And she's like, oh, that must be a really good game. It's like, yeah, Pokemon's a really good game.
If
Why are you hitting
only
me?
I could play it. Hint, hint,
Yeah.
nudge, nudge. Let me
But
buy the game, damn it.
to her defense, like there are just so many things coming out in November that buying a $40 game right now will be good in the short term, but in the long term, I'll probably play it for a couple weeks and then drop it like it's hot for the new Zelda game or
But
whatever.
but when I get
I
my 3DS, then we can play Pokemons together.
I want to trade my Pokemans over the internets. All right, like I want to. Don't get me wrong. It's something I want to do, and like I said, I'm working it. I'm just I'm drop a little hints.
Hmm.
We'll see how it goes.
Maybe you'll
I
get it
mean,
for early Christmas.
maybe. I remember. Did I ever tell you how I got 3DS XL?
No. Ooh,
Oh,
story time.
yeah. Okay. So it's related. So like I can't remember. It was my birthday, and the 3DS XLs went on sale before my birthday. They were like $30 off, and I was like, I kind of want one, but I already have a 3DS Mini, and I flaked, and they ended up not being on sale. So I was all like, damn it. And I walked away from the store, and I just kept talking about it. And Ashley had bought me a birthday gift already to give me on my birthday, which we celebrated at our house. And then we were gonna celebrate it like a second time at her parents and have cake there because that's what we do. And we got there and we were opening gifts from her family to me, and then Ashley pulled out another one, and it was the 3DS XL. So she got me
Nice.
another gift to
So
shut
maybe
me up.
she's just totally throwing you off and is planning on getting you the Zelda bundle with some Pokemons on top.
No, she straight up told me it was because I wouldn't shut up.
So then
So
that's all you have to do then, dude. Problem
but
solved. Just be like,
I
Ashley, 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 Pokemons. Ashley, Pokemons, Pokemons, Ashley, Pokemons.
she got pretty angry at me the last time I brought it up, so I have to, I have to just be sly about it.
Hmm.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to playing it when I do. I mean, it's been so long since I played a Pokemon game,
You
but
know what you should do? I have
what?
seen a lot of people tweet to different podcasts and to Blizzard saying, look what I've had to do in the absence of Hearthstone, with a lot of like hand drawn cards on like sticky notes and stuff. And, just being like, oh, this is my version of Hearthstone. So what you have to do is you have to draw little pictures of Pokemon and just start sticking them up all over the walls and being like, I gotta catch them all, Ashley. And just run around the house, yanking them off the walls. Be like, ha, gotcha, Pikachu.
I might have something here that can help. Where is it? Oh, here it is. It's a Pokeball.
Oh my god, perfect.
Yeah, see, it even opens. I have a Poliwhirl.
See, there you go.
I'm just gonna set that right there to constantly remind me. I haven't unpacked my office. I've been in this house for 7 months, so I'm also lazy, kids.
Yep.
So
See, all you
yeah,
have to do is run around with your Pokeball and just
throw it at her.
Oh,
Don't
throw
throw it
that.
at her. Don't throw it at her. Okay, I'm glad I got that out of the way right now. 'Cause that would have been awkward.
You could
Um,
totally throw it at her though and be like, well, if I had a virtual one to throw at virtual Pokemons, I wouldn't have to throw my real ball at you.
okay, so everybody, oh, there's a joke in there. So everybody who's listening, that we're joking. Obviously, I'm not gonna do any of these things, but it's for the show. It's not for the kids. If it was Extra Life, it would be for the kids, but for today, it's for the show.
Mm-hmm.
But back to
What you're
the
playing.
game. Yeah,
Yes.
The Wolf Among Us, what I'm actually playing. And it's interesting because I've said on this podcast before that even though I'm a big fan of Nintendo games, I still crave mature content. You know, like playing something that is aimed at an adult audience.
Mm-hmm.
And The Wolf Among Us is definitely one of those games. Like it's gritty, it's gruesome, but not Walking Dead gruesome. Just
Mm.
it's bloody. There's a lot of swearing in it, but it's still not like GTA swearing.
Mm.
um, it's it's really good in that sense, and it's one of those experiences. Like, yeah, this is great. This is something for me. It's not tailored to all audiences, and I'm really digging. I've never read any of Fables, so it's all completely new to me. This is actually a prequel to the comic books, from what I understand, and you control Bigby, which is the wolf.
Yeah, I've
Uh,
heard that you don't have to have read the comic books or be familiar with the universe in order to get the most out of the game. So that's also a huge deal, right? So it'd be good for me to play the game and then read the comics, I think. I mean, obviously you don't have to do both, but
well, I mean, I'm going to probably jump into the comics after the game because this I've already heard just based on the stuff that happened. And I'm not spoiling any of this for Jocelyn's sake and for everybody else's because this is one of those games like The Walking Dead that you should play. Um, but it's not The Walking Dead. So a lot of people who are turned off by zombies may actually get into this because it's still comic based, but um, it's weird. Don't let the premise set you back in the sense that it's a bunch of fairy tale characters, living in New York, right? It sounds like a bad Seinfeld spin-off, but it really isn't. It's really gritty and it's interesting because you're actually solving a murder.
oh, cool.
And so you're the sheriff over all these fables, and you're working with Snow White to kind of solve this murder. And again, like when you hear these characters being mentioned, like Snow White, the big bad wolf, the woodsman from Red Riding Hood, don't picture like what a fairy tale looks like. They're wearing normal clothes and they look normal and everything. So
Yeah, it's kind
again,
of funny. I like because Snow White is also a major character in Once Upon a Time. She's obviously a major character in Fables, and it's so funny because she was never like that was never the story that I gravitated to as a kid. She was always almost a secondary character to me. Like a lot of my friends were big into Ariel and the Little Mermaid, and I was big into Beauty and the Beast and the Belle story. So seeing Snow White, like I always thought Snow White was boring. She doesn't do anything. She
she's
sings to
great.
birds and falls asleep. Woo!
I thought that was Sleeping Beauty.
I think
I
it's
guess
both of them.
it is. It's funny how many of those fairy tales kind of fall asleep on you.
Yeah.
Beauty and the Beast are in this as well. They make an appearance. Toad from that Toad fairy tale's in it. He swears a lot and has a
Toad
British
from the
accent. So
Toad fairy tale? What's the
yeah,
Toad
do you know?
fairy tale?
Well, the one where it's like a toad and a badger, Toad and Badger. Does that ring any bells?
Nope.
No. Some of them go over my head as well. Like you have your standard ones, but then they're like the far-reaching ones that Disney never touched.
Mm.
I think that's really where the issue comes from. But no, it's really good. It's got the same sort of setup as The Walking Dead in the sense that you're dialoguing with characters. You're performing little mini games. I played with the keyboard, so you're like navigating the mouse and clicking or mashing the Q and E buttons. So there is those action bits, but there's also like these decisions, and I guess they said in this game that your decisions matter, but and as well the timing of your decisions.
I
So they'll
did
give you
read
a
that.
yeah, they'll give you a decision to go one way or another, and depending on which one you choose, you have to factor in which one you should go to first,
Mm-hmm.
and the consequences of that are reflected in future episodes.
Yeah. So
Um,
I think this game looks really cool. Is it a similar art style to Walking Dead, or is it different?
well, where The Walking Dead feel more simple comic type stuff, this feels more detailed comic look. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You look at the screenshots, it looks straight out of like a very detailed comic book, whereas The Walking Dead felt more stylized and less
Right.
detailed. The faces are still kind of wonky, and when they talk, it's like the flap jaw. But I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I've never really had a problem with that. If the
I was thinking
dialogue,
more along the lines of it's almost similar to the style of Borderlands with the kind of
hmm
thicker outline of stuff. I find
yeah,
that, yeah, that's, or how Walking Dead was, anyways. I'm not quite sure about this one because, again, I haven't played it yet, but.
you'll enjoy it. I think you'll enjoy it, especially if you go into it knowing that it is similar to The Walking Dead. It's an adventure style. There's less
So,
clumsy walking around and
oh,
stuff.
good, because that's what drove me nuts. It's,
Yeah.
again, the movement mechanics in a game can make it or break it for me. So, I mean, yeah, the idea of not having big clunky steps and getting hung up on stuff, just, oh, so much better. So,
Yeah.
how far along are you in episode 1? Have you finished it up?
I have finished it.
Of
Each
course you have.
episode.
I don't know why I ask. Usually you buy stuff and then if you're going to finish it, it's like the day after you bought it, you're done.
Well, the
Otherwise, it's
smaller
just never going to get finished.
Yeah, exactly. The smaller things I try to get out of the way as quickly as possible. And this is a game that you want to do in one big chunk, so I'm glad you waited because it is a game you're going to want to just play in one sit through, or maybe two. I did it in two, I believe. And it's about 2.5 hours long, as is standard for most Telltale episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels, it feels really good, it feels really tight, and I was looking forward to episode two at the end of it. Again, no spoilers. It's worth playing for yourself. Try not to spoil it,
Mm-hmm.
because there's some twists in there. So want to watch out.
Nice. So you have, I didn't even know that this was a thing, but you have Batman Arkham Origins for iOS in here? That's a
Yeah,
thing? How
it
is that a
is.
thing? Because that doesn't come out, hasn't come out yet, has it? Has it?
It hasn't. It has
Okay.
not. It comes out next Friday,
That's what I
actually.
thought.
And I mean,
I thought
I don't
maybe
know
I
about
got my Fridays mixed up, and I was like, well, wait, why am I even here if there's a Batman to play?
you know what? I've always, on that note, I've always thought it'd be interesting if there was a game that came out on a Friday that was just something we were super looking forward to. I don't think anyone would fault us in, skipping a regular episode and doing like a live stream commentary
Mm-hmm.
of that game.
Maybe
That
that's
might
what we
be
should do next
something
week.
to
We'll
file.
make a
Yeah.
cool overlay and do that next week. That'll be
Are you
episode
buying?
96. Oh yeah,
Oh,
we're definitely gonna grab it.
oh, great. So are you buying it on PC or Xbox?
The plan was Xbox, but now if we're gonna stream, then that might have to change. We'll have to figure that out.
Well, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I obviously, if I can't buy Pokemon, I won't be able to buy Origins. But I love the Batman games, and I have actually heard some rumblings that Origins may not be up to snuff. So we might want to
Oh,
wait for a review. But big games like this usually have a review before launch anyways, so we
that's
shouldn't
true.
worry.
I've heard
Um,
the biggest criticisms that I've heard so far about Origins is strictly that it's derivative of the other Batman games, that it's just another Batman game. I'm like, how is that a bad thing? I want more
that's
Batman games.
funny.
I want a different story with the same mechanics. Like,
Yeah,
what's the problem?
I want more Batman. I mean,
Yeah, don't
as
wreck
long
a
as
good
it's
thing.
exactly. Now, that being said, I mean, if they were to release like the next gen Batman next year, it might be a little bit too soon. But I think the way they're
Yeah.
setting this up is that, this is the stopgap for the next gen one from Rocksteady
Mm-hmm.
that's going to probably come out in 2 years. So rather than have a 4 year gap, like big games like Zelda or Mario, or Halo for that matter, they would just toss this one in there. And again, I'm hearing weird things that it might be not that great, but we'll see. It is being developed by a different studio, but to tide myself over for that, I've been playing Origins on iOS. It's free to play. Did you play the last Batman Arkham City Lockdown on iOS?
No.
Okay,
I
so
tend to
it's
stay away from the iOS games because all I
mm,
have is the phone. So
oh
that's actually the biggest problem. I don't know. One of the other titles we're going to talk about tonight is Dungeon Keeper. And
mhm.
it was so small. Like, I felt it was so difficult to actually see what was going on and actually do anything because the screen was just so damn small. And that's the same problem that I have with all of these kind of iOS releases for, like, whatever reason. It's just, I can't see what's going on and I can't enjoy it. So, I mean, we do have, or well, Joel has an iPad 2, I believe it's a 2. So, I mean, some of these things we can play, but other things, it's just like the iPad 2 is just not fast enough. And even though
Yeah.
the screen is big, it's not the Retina screen. And, you know, like there's just so many issues. So I tend to just steer away from iOS stuff and stick strictly to the main release.
I've wanted to pick up a new iPad for the longest time just to play games like this because on the iPhone, it's more about being a time kill. Like if I'm waiting for a ride or waiting for Ashley to finish work, I pull out the iPhone and I play one of these little games. When I'm at home, I'm usually not engaged with these games. Like I have many more options that are. This is why when I hear the argument that oh Nintendo or Microsoft or Sony should put their games on iOS and make billions. Well, no, because you're watering down the experience. Like just like Justin says, you don't play iOS games because they're usually small and less complex and not as engaging, right? So Arkham Origins is the same thing. It's and I think it does suffer on the smaller screen, but like you, I don't have an option. I have an iPad 1. Uh, yeah, like that thing won't play. It
Yeah.
will hardly boot for that thing, you know. I'm like two OSs behind,
Yeah.
and
Which is kind of
yeah.
ridiculous considering, you know, I mean, it's been, what, 3 years or something like that? Has it been 3 years since, or 4 years since the iPad became a thing? But
Oh
anyways,
man,
not that long in the
yeah,
grand scheme of things for the hundreds and hundreds of dollars that these pieces of hardware cost you. So that's kind of crappy
yeah. I mean,
on a totally
I
non-video game related tangent.
yeah, it'll yeah, it I yeah.
Do you
If I want
think,
to,
whoa, hang on,
well,
here's the big question.
what's
Do you
that?
think it will play Hearthstone?
That's a really good question. I mean, the biggest issue is that I'm two OSs behind.
Hmm.
So if Blizzard does not keep that in mind, then no, I won't be able to.
Yeah.
But
I'm sure it'll
in
probably
terms,
go back to iOS 5. I really
yeah,
am.
in terms of
7 just came
technological
out,
chip,
so I'm
yeah.
sure it's fine. I'm sure it's fine.
Uh, I'm not too worried. I'm hoping that Blizzard, Blizzard's been really good at aiming their products at as a wide a breadth of technologies, right?
Yeah, true.
If I could say that, or so I think we'll see that it'll run on a bunch of different devices. Um, but yeah, Arkham Origins is a lot of tangents tonight.
Yeah.
One of those weeks. It's fun and like Arkham City Lockdown, it's made by the same guys, NetherRealm Studios, the Mortal Kombat dudes, and it's an Unreal mobile game, so it looks really good. Pulls all the models from the Origins game, so you're getting exactly what you're going to be getting in the base game when it comes out next week. And it's like a fighting game. You clear out a bunch of guys on a map, and then eventually you get challenged the boss and move on to a next segment. And the fighting is sort of Infinity Blade style,
Mm-hmm.
where you're tapping for combos, and then swiping motions will come up, and you just
Mm.
sort of like, oh no, swipe that way, do extra kick damage. You get special moves, you can change stances. So
That's
at
another thing
first,
I'm not a huge fan of because I don't like Infinity Blade. I know everybody raves about it, but I mean, I don't really like mobile games. I like mobile puzzle games because
yeah.
those are usually like, you know, tap to do stuff and, you know, find patterns or solve puzzles or, you know, to figure out words, whatever.
Mhm.
But I don't like the kind of motion stuff, the action that, well, I don't like motion control in any thing. But I don't like the
You.
swiping to kick and the swipe up
Right.
to do this and over to do this and remember to swipe tap tap. No.
You'll hate this then. You you'll fucking hate this game. You'll love probably Origins on Xbox, but it's free, so you could try it and see
Yeah.
if it changes your mind. But I think the thing that'll piss you off even more is the reason it's free. It's you go into it thinking like, oh, it's free to play. There's going to be some sort of mechanic that makes me buy stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the dreaded energy bar.
Oh.
It's a 10 chunk energy bar. Every mission costs 2 to 3 chunks of energy, and it takes 5 minutes per bar to regain. So when you're starting to get into it, you're spending 2 energy there and 3 energy there, and then all of a sudden, oh, I can't do any more missions unless I spend my golden bits, my golden Wayne bits. And I don't want to spend my golden Wayne bits. I want to keep those. I want to hold them close. I don't want to let other people
Stop
touch my
now.
bits. So that's where it sort of hits a wall, literally, because you have to close the app and come back to it in an hour and let it regain, unless you want to spend money on it. And I'm digging the game, and I'm like, I probably would have rather spent the $4 or $5, got my enjoyment out of it, rather than just like drag it out.
I think the
So
biggest problems with these free to play games is that you say, "Oh, I wish I'd just spent my $4 to $5," and it's just like there's no way the people that are actually spending money on it, they're
mhm,
not just spending $4 to $5. They are spending tons and tons and tons and tons. It's the same with Simpsons.
yeah.
Like before you know it, you've spent 50 or $100 on this stupid mobile game. Not
Mm,
me. I am doing the same thing with Hearthstone that I'm doing with everything else, and really not putting any real money into these free to play games. But some people just, buy the $10 at a time, and over a couple of months can sink $100 into a little mobile title and not even realize what they've done. So overall, I mean, the free to play games, there's so many now that they've got to be just raking in the profit in ways that they couldn't even dream of if they were charging, $2.99, $3.99 mobile gaming type prices.
yeah. And I mean, I bought Infinity Blade 3 on the phone. I have yet to boot it up. And that was $6. And these free to play games, I'm jumping in, playing, but the turnaround on them is about a week.
Mm-hmm.
I will play them for a week pretty religiously. I'll listen to the notifications, and then I'll stop playing, and I'll keep getting those notifications, and I'll eventually just delete the app because
Mm-hmm.
I'm sick of hearing about it. It's that's just how it works for me. And I think that's why whenever someone argues that iOS is the next big mobile platform, it's like, well, obviously you're not enjoying your 3DS or Vita, because those have staying power, where these iOS games, and I understand that, for our age group, a dedicated mobile device is really handy because it gives you really great quality games.
Mm-hmm.
Someone said Android is. Is that Dave in the chat room? Come
No,
on,
it's
Dave.
not Dave in the chat room, but must
Yeah,
be one of
shoot.
Dave's friends.
Well, I mean, okay, Android's on the same level as iOS in terms of the games. You're getting the same type of experiences,
Yes.
and they're great for just like 15 minutes here and there. But I'm not gonna come home, and I'm not, Jocelyn. Have we ever had this conversation where it's like, I'm really excited for the new game that's coming out on iOS and Android?
No.
No, it's always, I'm looking forward to the new Zelda or the new Uncharted or the new
Usually we play mobile titles like these when we don't have anything else to do. Or for me, I play The Simpsons right before I go to bed because I'm always, sitting there for 10 minutes before I go to sleep, waiting for Joel to finish getting ready for bed. And I'm just sitting there going tap, 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 tap. Oh, okay, well, I can close this now. I can stop killing these stupid ghosts. Although I will say I'm still playing Tapped Out. Haven't paid for it yet, but am still playing Tapped Out. It's
yeah.
whenever they have an event. I can't, especially Halloween events. I am such a sucker for Halloween events, which is what got me back into WoW today.
Really? I
Yes.
love the Halloween event. Wow, it's so good.
I haven't actually played WoW in probably about 3 weeks, which for me is huge. I haven't taken a break like that from WoW in probably about a year. So
You got your 3 week chip.
yeah, it was crazy. I just, I changed specs from Beastmaster to Survival, and I hated it. And I was just like, I'm not good. I don't understand what I'm doing. I'm down to I'm level 90 with my gear that's all 496 or higher.
Hmm.
And I'm doing like 25k damage, which is probably what somebody maxed out in Lich King did, you know? Like, it's just ridiculous.
Hmm.
So yeah, was playing around and just really didn't like it. Plus, I changed up my UI, and again, on the advice of a couple of websites, because I read up so much on, you know, what I should be doing to maximize my DPS and everything else, because I felt I was falling way behind. I was only doing about 70k damage, which is really not that good.
Is it not? I don't know. It's been so long. 70K sounds like a lot to me.
Yeah, no, it's not really that, or it's about half of what I should be expecting to do. Like, there are people that can do up around, you know, 200-ish, but those are like the absolute best players in the game with perfect timing sort of thing. So, I
Right.
mean, an average of where I should probably be is around 1 to 120, and I was doing about 70, and I literally had been playing Beastmaster for the entire time I've been playing WoW. So I was just like, you know what, I'm going to give Survivalist a shot. It's supposed to be right near the top of the DPS charts, you know, like changing specs makes a difference, so I'm going to give it a shot. So I'm up around 80 now with just practicing with it today, but like, man, so hard, so hard.
Mm.
And what got me back in was the Halloween thing. And because, again, this is my next step on my long, strange trip. And
Right.
I was looking so forward to it. And I was just like, oh my God, Headless Horseman, this is going to be great. So I queued up for a random group, and it is the worst experience that I've ever had in WoW. Usually my groups are made up of AIE people, or for a while there, you know, we had you and I and three other people that we played with all the time. And that was our dungeon group for Pandaria. And so we would just do stuff together. So I was just like, you know what? I just want to kill this boss. I did okay in Brewfest, you know, but I've changed specs since Brewfest. So
Hmm.
I was just like, you know, I'm just going to queue up. It's not a big deal. It'll be over in like 5 minutes. I checked with the guild first, and I was like, you know, anyone have any tips for the boss? I've never done the boss fight before. I was in the group for maybe 10 seconds, and they were like, there was 3 out of the 4. I was going to say 3 out of the 5, but I make the 5th, who are just like, oh, who let the huntard in? Oh, why are we playing with this
Oh,
person? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, the fight hasn't even started yet. I haven't even screwed up yet. And I was just like, oh man, they were just like, oh, we should boot her. This is so stupid. They shouldn't even let hunters play the game. And I'm just like,
this is
what?
why I don't play video games with other people.
I know. It totally kills my experience every single time I step outside of AIE. It was ridiculous. And I'm just
It,
like, okay, there is nothing wrong with being a new player to a game. So what? It's been out for 8 years. If you love the game, why don't you want other people to come in and love the game that you love? It doesn't make any sense to me.
it's it's this untitled bullshit that these, and it's not just kids. I hate
Mm,
people who blame kids.
yeah.
There are grown adults out there. There are grown seniors that act the same way. That it doesn't matter their age or their sex. They'll
And I will
Some
say,
people will ruin it for
the
all.
one guy who was the
Hmm.
worst had like 200k damage. Like, he was ridiculous in like an, oh my God, you're really good at this game kind of way. But then I'm just like, who cares? If you're doing 200, you don't need everyone else in the party to do
Hmm.
200. Then the boss fight is just over. So,
Eh,
you know, so what? You're carrying the team. Do you know how to play worse? It's not like we all died. Nobody died. I don't even think anybody needed to be healed. So I'm just like, yeah,
It's
I
that
don't
like
understand that kind of like rage out of nowhere.
it's that elitist bullshit that
Yeah.
just because they're so good at the game. You see it in shooters too, and any sort of online interaction where like someone's doing really well and they just feel the need to say, to like whip out their balls and say, "Look at me, I'm doing amazing at this game." It's like I don't understand why people feel the need to flaunt shit when obviously I can see that yes, you're doing very well. Congratulations. You can put them
Exactly.
away now. I don't
I
I
don't
just
need
don't
those in
get
my
it.
face.
Like don't be a dick, people. You,
Just
you know,
just keep your balls in your pants and don't be a dick.
I don't understand it. I've had this conversation on so many levels, on so many different platforms, and it's just like, people do it to customer service reps. Like, Ashley works at a bank. She comes home sometimes and she tells me, like, I got yelled at for 10 minutes. It's like, why? It's like this old man just, I don't know. He just freaked out. And I'm like, well, what was he doing? What did he want? It's like, he was in the complete wrong and he wouldn't listen and he just kept yelling at me. And I'm like, it's the same thing as it is in real life as it is in video games. Like,
Mm,
just people don't know how to be calm and just relax and
yeah.
take a chill
And
pill.
just have fun at
That's
the
all.
game.
Yeah,
Like,
have fun.
yeah. And
I
I
don't know.
think I think my biggest problem is like I've always been afraid of having an experience like that because I don't usually play group stuff. And that
Hmm.
was another thing. I left taunt on my pet, which I know is this huge horrible thing and it's really annoying if you're a tank, but I play by myself all the time. I need
Hmm.
my pet to tank. So do I think to turn it off? No, because I never group for anything. And all you have to say is before you initiate the fight, just be like, quick reminder, guys, turn the taunt off on your pets and blah, 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 blah. Like, don't be a dick about it. Just be like, hey, I see there's a hunter and a warlock and a blah, blah. So make sure you blah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Grr.
and you know what? Like, we have Extra Life coming up, and we're gonna be playing with a lot of different people. And if anybody acts like that, you're gone. No
Yep.
way we're gonna put up with that shit. Like, it's just, I don't like. It really upsets me. I used to
in the
play,
end,
yeah,
in the
like
end, I got my achievement, so that's all
good.
that really matters. Is that I've
Shows
now
that
killed.
guy.
I've now killed the boss, and I killed the boss. I'm using air quotes because I didn't really do all that much, but in the end, I mean, I get my achievement, and he just has to live his life like a jerk. So really, who's winning? I'm pretty sure it's
Yeah.
me.
Well, I don't know. Like, people like that sometimes have underlying issues. So
Yeah, true.
maybe get help, I guess. I don't know. He could be perfectly happy and have a wonderful life, or it could be lashing out for some reason. I don't
Yeah.
know.
So we have alluded to and quickly mentioned a game that did a soft launch in Canada that Ryan and I both quickly touched, and that was Dungeon Keeper. And who makes this?
Mythic at EA.
Right. Okay. Because I was
Mythic
gonna
are the
say I
guys
was
who,
fairly certain it was an EA title, but I didn't want to say that because I tend to just default to, oh, I don't like this. Oh, it must be EA. And I know Simpsons is EA too, but you know.
I think these are the guys who did some Warhammer stuff, at least the
Mm.
Warhammer MMO. But I could be wrong.
Yeah, so Dungeon Keeper, I haven't got that far through it. I've beat the first, I guess, adversary, but I don't know. I wasn't really digging it that much. I mean, being on the phone, the screen was really small. I found it hard to kind of know what was going on and where I was supposed to click and stuff. And it was really hard to see, like, because it was saying, oh, clear out the stone. And I was like, what stone? Like, I didn't understand even, like, where I could build my dungeon or why I was building a dungeon or, like, I didn't get what was going on. And
Yeah.
even running through the tutorial, I was like, so this is tower defense? But what?
Yeah, it's like it's both sides of tower defense in the sense that you are building your towers to defend your demon heart, but you're also invading other people's towers. So you're on the attack and you're on the defense, and there are these like raids which are essentially the single player campaign.
Hmm.
As you build up your base and get new minions and stuff, you can, take on bigger challenges. Um, but then there's another aspect of it where, like I said, you're defending your heart, but you're also building the maze that you filter people through when they attack. So your entry points are these points where you gain resources, and there's gold and stone, and you use those to build and upgrade buildings.
I think that's where
Um,
I was a little bit lost, is I wasn't
mhm.
quite certain where the entrance was and where I was trying to, like, I didn't know where the start and the end were because it's
Yeah.
just this like this big square. So I'm just kind of like, okay, wait, which way are they gonna go? Like, how am in every other tower defense I've ever played? There's been, like specific locations where you build a tower. You don't just build
Yeah.
things wherever you want. So I think I was a little bit confused about the path. And you also can't change the path normally. Like, I can't
Right.
in Plants vs. Zombies move the top path in a weird square motion or something, So I think any other time it's been very clear bad guys come from here. Your
Mhm.
thing you have to protect is here, and you have to build towers in this spot along the path and go. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the biggest issue when people are attacking you is that every one of those resource points is an entry point. So they can pick which one to use. So if you heavily fortify one of those entry points, not just if they look at your map close enough, they'll just pick a different point and totally tear your base up from the
Hmm.
other side. So, and there is no exit point in the sense that really their goal is to just trash everything.
No,
And they
okay.
get stars based on how much trashing they do,
Is
basically.
there a PvP part of this? Like, can I go and trash your dungeon and can you come and trash mine?
Um, I don't know if there's like a direct peer-to-peer in the sense that I can challenge you, but I
Hmm.
can challenge a random opponent.
Okay.
So I would assume that either now or down the road there would be a friends list and I can challenge you and stuff. But currently, I think it's random people.
Hmm.
I've
I
actually
was
got
surprised that
like
I didn't have to sign in with Origin.
yeah, totally dodged that one, didn't we? I
Yeah,
get
for
it.
now. Again, this is a soft launch in Canada, so we'll have to see what happens with the first update sort of thing and when it
Yeah.
actually gets pushed out to the States.
Yeah, and it is free to play if you are in Canada and want to give it a shot. I mean, it's at least worth giving it a shot because I mean the it feels like the production value is there and that it could
Hmm.
get better down the road, but
It definitely had a mature sense of humor. I was kind of surprised. I mean, I tend to think like a 14-year-old boy, but I mean, like when the main devil character's name is Horny, I mean, there it was I found extremely like sexually charged.
yeah,
Just in the language and the word choice and the I don't find devils sexy, Ryan. God.
I
I
was
know I
just
love
thinking more
Halloween,
along the
but come
lines of
on.
along the lines of the fact that like the horny devil seems to allude to the dungeon keeper having infatuation with chickens. So it's odd that you find it sexually charged.
Hey, I like me some chicken.
Hey, chickens as much. I mean, we all know everyone's into the angry chickens,
Yep.
right? So you got another angry chicken to add. This is more of a
Yay.
loving chicken.
I have
Um,
learned more about video game chickens in the last like 5 days than I think I ever knew in my entire life. It's just like, oh, hashtag angry chicken. Have you heard of blah chicken in blah game? It's amazing. No,
chi-
we don't cover
chickens,
all
yeah,
of the angry chickens. We actually cover one angry chicken in one game with a whole bunch of other cards.
yeah, yeah.
But
I
yeah,
don't think they've ever
apparently
come.
somehow we all became obsessed with chickens. So thanks for that, guys.
Chickens are great. I mean, if you're gonna major in one thing, why not it be
Might as
chickens?
well be chickens. So,
Um,
before we wrap up what we've been playing, I actually had a fan request that I play some
hmm,
Terraria. So, I did that this afternoon. It went better than the first time. The
I
first
don't even
time I
remember the
played,
first time.
it was probably about 2 months ago, and I had nothing else to play, and so I just sat down on my Steam list and played like 5 or 6 indie titles. Terraria was one of the titles that I played, and I couldn't understand what was going on. Well, today I went the
Mhm.
other way because the first time I played the game I went left. This time I went right, and I actually like hopped down a hill and found a dude. I can't remember his name. I want to say it's like Dave or something, but he's
Oh
like
yeah.
Dave the guide. And he's like, "Oh, hi, talk to me if you have any questions." And I was just like, "Last time I just died like 5 times and then
Where have you
quit."
been all my life?
Exactly. So I found the dude and he started to explain stuff to me, and it's very similar in theory to Minecraft,
Hmm.
where, like you collect wood and goo from the bad guys and you can make torches and then build a workbench and then, use your workbench to do other stuff. So it's similar in that way. And again, I haven't played a whole lot of Minecraft, so I'm sure that there's probably going to be people who are just going to rip me apart for comparing the two, but come on. So
I've played
you
Terraria. I've never played Minecraft, so it's
yeah,
gotta
so
for sure.
you get a sword, you get an axe, you get a pickaxe, and you can use them to just to I guess destroy. Basically, use the axe to chop down trees and the pickaxe to mine dirt and stone and things like that, and the sword to defend yourself. And then so you get all the bits and you can make other things. But what I couldn't figure out for the life of me, and I even went into like all the way back out to the main menu and looked at the controls and everything else. They keep telling me I can place things, and I can't figure out for the life of me how to place something. I can throw something away, but then as soon as I run by it, I pick it up again, or I can use the item like a weapon or whatever, but I can't for the life of me figure out how to like put a torch on the wall or place the workbench, because you have to place the workbench in order to be able to build things on the workbench, which makes perfect sense, but right. I can't place it. So I spent the first like 3 nights with zombies trying to eat my face because I was just like hacking away at the dark because I couldn't place a torch or anything else, and you can't have like a torch in one hand and a sword in the other. It's you get to hold one thing. So I was just like, well, it's going to be dark now, and I'm just going to hack away at the air and hope that I hit the zombie that I can hear. And, you know, like, and I couldn't build a house because they say, oh, make sure you stay inside at nighttime. I'm like, there is no inside.
You didn't build a house.
No, I didn't build a house because I couldn't figure out how to put down the stupid workbench. So I just kind of started running around and just hacking at everything I could and collecting like all the resources. I think I have like 200 wood now or something like that. I can't build anything because I can't figure it out, but I have the wood.
Well, as long as you have the wood.
Slime.
Lots of slime. What are you doing? What are you gonna build? Okay, I guess the slime is used in place of nails. Is it adhesive slime?
No, it's gooey, flammable slime that's supposed to let me make torches.
You probably shouldn't build a house out of flammable slime.
Probably not.
Just a suggestion.
But that's the kind of thing that I would totally do.
Yeah.
So I did try Terraria. I'm trying to get into it because I feel like it could be something that I really, really like. I have gotten the hang of killing the balls of slime because I couldn't do that for the life of me last time. So I'm learning. I'm getting there. But man, is it tough.
Well, balls of slime.
It shouldn't be tough. I mean, it's like you go side to side and a little bit of up and down. Like you can dig with your pickaxe and, you know, carve out caverns, and you're supposed to be looking for things. And I don't know, it just seems like a whole lot of work for just not a lot of payoff. But again, I can't build anything, so I think I'm missing 3/4 of the game.
Well, I mean, you've been killing lots of balls of slime. I've been killing lots of balls of slime in Wind Waker, so... I don't know if you remember that game. There's tons of balls of slime in that one.
Balls of slime everywhere.
Yeah. They get around.
They do. They do. So I think that's pretty much everything for what we've been playing. I'm going to try to play some more Terraria before next week and hopefully get all of my Hallow's End achievements because I so want that Drake. I feel like when the year's over, I'm just going to be like, I'm never playing WoW again.
Well, I mean, you know, so wait, in terms of your Drake, like you've got everything, right? You're good. You just need to do your Hallow's End stuff and then Christmas?
Oh, God, no. I didn't get to kill the Midsummer boss. Didn't you read my article?
I remember reading it. I was trying to remember. I knew you hadn't got everything. I couldn't remember if it was Brewfest or Midsummer's.
It was Midsummer that I missed. So I have, I believe, all of the Valentine's Day, Easter, something else, and then Midsummer. Whatever that... Oh, Children's Week is the one that's in between. Then I liked Children's Week, although it was really tough. But I mean, like, I didn't do anything for that week except for try to get that PvP achievement. That took me forever. Anyways, so then I missed the Midsummer boss, but that's the only achievement I think I need in Midsummer. And then I did all of Brewfest, and then the next thing is Hallow's End. So if I can get everything in Hallow's End, everything for Christmas, and then everything for the Elders, then I should be on track to just beat the Midsummer boss and then get it. So it'll be next June. It'll be right before Nerdtacular.
Christmas is a fun one. I think you'll enjoy that one.
Yeah, I think Halloween looks fun too. I mean, I have to travel all around and go to the inns and get the candy and stuff like that. And so I'm looking forward to trick-or-treating.
That's a good one. You can get candy corn. All right, wait, let's solve this issue right here. Do you like candy corn?
Who doesn't like candy corn?
Okay, good. I haven't had it in a long time. Yeah, because I mean, I don't know if you've been on the internet lately, but there's this like secret debate. It's worse than cake and pie. It's like, do you like candy corn or not? And if you like candy corn, like we are on a small team.
Really?
Yeah, I
Jeez.
think a lot of people don't like candy corn, and they make that very public on the internet.
Weird. The internet
Yeah,
is a strange, strange place.
it is. It is.
So, Ryan and I really appreciate your continued support of our show, along with the support of our sponsor, Doghouse Systems. You can use the code TheGamersIn to double your RAM when you purchase a new gaming rig. Head on over to doghousesystems.com and get your order on. Which brings us to Quickfire News.
Yes, Wii U sales are now a thing. Without giving specific numbers, Nintendo of America announced that Wii U sales saw a 200% growth in September in North America. In Europe, September saw a 685% growth. This change is no doubt due to the release of a game and the price cut. Keep in mind, though, folks, while that sort of growth is impressive, 200% growth of a small number is still a pretty small number. So Nintendo still really has a long way to go.
I was going to say, so what's the difference between, like, they sold one in August and then they sold two in September and they were like, woo,
Yeah.
200%.
Well, I mean, last I checked, I think September or August was still in the low 10,000, maybe less than 100,000, I know. So I mean, a 200% growth of at least 100,000 is what, just 200,000?
Yeah.
That's how percentages work, right? So Europe's even worse. They were at a like less than 10,000 units sold. So
Yeah, jeez.
685. That's why they didn't give numbers. I mean,
Well, yeah,
percentage.
percentages are so much more impressive. That's very,
Yeah.
very true.
Yeah.
So Blizzard All Stars is now, drumroll please, quote unquote, set aside what you thought you knew about Blizzard All Stars and get ready for what's brewing at this year's BlizzCon, says Blizzard, who released a teaser for their new MOBA game, Heroes of the Storm. The game was originally called Blizzard's Dota, but then was renamed Blizzard All Stars after a rights dispute with Valve. Blizzard trademarked Heroes of the Storm last month in what everyone thought would be a WoW expansion, or possibly the first expansion in the yet-to-be-released Hearthstone. We will hear all about Heroes of the Storm in November.
Watch Dogs has been pushed to 2014. One of the most anticipated next-gen launch titles has been pushed to spring 2014. In a blog post, Ubisoft stated come on, Ryan, that to get I keep wanting to say do that to get extra time to fine-tune and polish, the game would need to be delayed. Lucky for Ubisoft, they have Assassin's Creed 4 hitting around the next-gen launch. Always felt weird that Assassin's Creed and Watch Dogs was launching at the same time, so I guess that this fixes that.
Borderlands 2 gets more DLC. Coming October 22nd, Headhunter 1, TK Baja's Bloody Harvest, which is a really, really long title, is the first in the Headhunter series and will feature a boss battle with Pumpkin Kingpin. The objective of all Headhunter DLC packages will be to defeat the quote-unquote rather unique bosses and wear their heads as trophies. It's not as bad as you think. This dude's head is a pumpkin. Also, he drops candy. Woohoo! Halloweeny!
Candy corn. Hopefully. Pokemon X and Y sell 4 million in 2 days. Critics and gamers seem to agree with each other when it comes to the new Pokemon games. Receiving excellent reviews from many outlets, X and Y now have the sales to back that up. X and Y are the first Pokemon games to receive a simultaneous worldwide launch and are on pace to outsell the previous entry by 70%. Nintendo really loves their percentages this week.
They do. So we have a Black Friday leak. The GameStop Black Friday flyer has been leaked, and although there aren't too many huge deals, what is in the flyer is a Zelda 3DS, which I totally called months ago, guys. It was previously only announced for the European markets. There was also a PS3 bundle for $200 with The Last of Us and Batman, Arkham Origins, and there was an Xbox bundle for $200 that comes with Halo 4 and Tomb Raider. Both PlayStation and Nintendo are going to get my money, but I have to say Xbox, you're kind of slacking. Anything you're looking forward to out of that leaked Black Friday deal?
Ah, man, I don't know. Is that America only, right?
I think so, but I'm sure that the Canadian retailers will have something similar. I mean, there's been huge pushes in the last, 2 or 3 years that when Black Friday happens, Best Buy, Future Shop, all kind of the big retailers have similar sales to keep people in the country because, I mean, people have been crossing the border like crazy. I don't know. I know you're fairly close to a U.S. border. Have you ever gone down south for Black Friday shopping?
I hate traveling. I hate shopping. So,
So
I
no
mean,
then.
no, I mean, like last year, I think I bought a couple games online from the US and it was actually cheaper to buy them through the Black Friday sale and ship them up here as it was to go to the local EB. I don't think EB kind of like has any good deals, but I know Walmart gets in on the Black Friday stuff. But
I'm
really,
sure
like,
Best Buy will as well because Best Buy was an American company before they bought out Future Shop and moved up here. So
yeah.
I think, and since now Best Buy and Future Shop are owned by the same parent company, I have a feeling that we'll probably see some deals out of them. And I mean, they've got to give me that 3DS, Ryan. They just, I mean, I'm getting kind of twitchy. I need to pre-order like now.
Yeah, it looks really cool. And I mean, surprisingly enough, I've been pretty good, and there are some rather large games that I did not pick up. So, if they do go on sale, I would be happy to buy them on the cheap. So,
I've got to say, I am super, super psyched for this PlayStation bundle. I mean, like Last of Us and Arkham Origins, like that. That does make me actually think that I might not get Arkham Origins on launch, only because that is such a great bundle. And I really, really, really want a PlayStation. I've wanted a PlayStation for years. So the $200 price point with those two titles, I mean, that's just over $100 for the system itself. And it has a 250 gig hard drive. So yeah,
it's
I really think that I'm going to be throwing a whole lot of money away on Black Friday. Not really
well,
away. I'm going to be picking up some pretty fantastic things on Black Friday, I think. If
The
I can
Last of
find
Us
some
is
money.
a fantastic game, and you owe it to yourself to get if you do get a PlayStation 3, don't buy any other games, just buy PlayStation Plus, and you'll I mean,
Oh, right.
having not ever owned a PlayStation, you'll get access to a bunch of games that you've never played. Currently, Shadow of the Colossus HD is their instant collection edition for this month,
Oh,
and
cool.
um, I never played that game, and it's one of the reasons I almost bought a PS2. So I'm glad I'm finally able to play through it. And yeah, PlayStation Plus is amazing.
So, PlayStation Plus, do you just have access to those games that you can download and install on your PlayStation hard drive and then play it whenever you want, or do you have to play it in the month that it's available?
As soon if you don't even have to download it, as long as you activate it on your account, it's always available to you. It
Oh,
counts
cool.
as purchased. You just need to have an active PlayStation Plus subscription.
Nice.
But games are cycled in and out. So if, say, you bought the PlayStation 3 in November and Shadow of the Colossus was removed from circulation at the end of October, you wouldn't be able to get it for free.
Right. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. So that brings us, after a not so quick fire news, to our topic of the week, which is more Extra Life. And I promise, guys, we have actual news. This isn't just us pimping our Extra Life again, but we'll do that at the end of the show. Don't worry, you won't miss it. But yeah, so basically what happened is I got an email 3 or 4 days ago now talking about what Blizzard is doing for Extra Life, because Diablo is actually a sponsor of the Extra Life charity drive. So what they did is they donated $120,000 to the Extra Life campaign. And since they weren't actually sponsoring a specific hospital, and the Children's Miracle Network is exactly that, a network, they decided to, or the Extra Life team decided to split it up based on donations. So they have 3 separate categories where you can essentially, if you're the best in the category, you win the money, which basically means the money goes to the hospital that you are supporting. So in our case, it would go to Sick Kids in Toronto. So the 3 categories are top overall Extra Life fundraising, which is just whoever raises the most money for the Extra Life charity, end of story, gets $60,000 to go to their hospital of choice.
Hmm.
Then there's also highest per capita, which is actually really interesting because what they're basically saying is that big cities have a population advantage, so it's easier to get donations in big cities. But so they may have more overall dollars, but what they're going to do is divide that overall dollar amount by the people in the city, and then whoever has the most is going
Hmm.
to get $40,000 towards their hospital. So the final category is the most improved Extra Life fundraising. And this is hospital specific. This is not person specific, I believe, right? Or are all of these are hospital specific?
They are hospital specific. So this last one here is basically if that hospital raised, say, 12,000 last year, they're looking at the percentage change from the year before.
Right.
Or sorry, this year. So I mean, they actually have standings. This is the most recent post on October 15th as to where everything's standing for the Diablo challenge. And we have for highest raised, which will gain that hospital 60 grand, is PA. I think that's Pennsylvania.
Ah, yep.
Children's Hospital of Pittsburgh is currently winning with 49,000, and Sick Kids is in fifth with
Oh.
27,000.
So
So
where are you seeing the actual standings?
here I'll send you this link real quick. It's actually just a blog post that they posted, and then they have an update with three links. And it's actually really interesting because it's a PDF for each one, and they
Oh,
list
I see.
all the hospitals that are in standings. I mean, the Ontario hospitals are doing quite well, actually, top 10 at least.
Sick Kids
Um,
has quite, I don't want to call it a following, but quite a huge base of support. They do, I mean, it's the reason why I'm playing for them. I don't live in Ontario anymore, but I mean, the things that they do within the community and for children and pushing forward research, I mean, they are constantly in the news about all of the great things that they're doing. And I mean, I am so proud to support Sick Kids in Toronto, and I know that everyone who is playing for them is playing for them hard. So I'm not surprised at all that that Sick Kids is up there on the list, and I'm really really happy. I mean, I want to raise as much as humanly possible to try to push us over the top because that would just be fantastic.
yeah, and I mean, being a Canadian hospital and this being a primarily American event, it's really cool to see Canadian. I'm a big fan of Canada, and as
You
should be
don't
known.
say.
Yeah, so like it's really cool to see us sort of playing. I hate to say this, but playing with the big guys, right?
Yeah.
Like American hospitals, just it feels kind of like they're the big kid, right? And I mean Canada is on par with what they offer, but it's kind of like hockey, It's like comparing the Montreal Canadiens to uh the what's a popular
Toronto
American
Maple Leafs. You're looking for an American
like a
team.
really
I
powerful like the
see.
Pittsburgh Penguins.
The Bruins,
They're
dude. The
the
Bruins.
Bruins. Thank you, the Bruins. How could I hate the fucking Bruins.
Everyone hates the Bruins,
Yeah,
except for
well,
Bruins
that's
fans.
if that's one thing that Montreal fans and Toronto fans can agree on. It's that the Bruins suck. Take that, Bob. So Bob's just shaking his iPhone and throwing it across the room. Um, Highest per capita is also the Pittsburgh Hospital.
Hmm.
So that's interesting. They have a population of 2.7 million, and per capita, that's what, 2 cents a person? A weird way of breaking it down. The
Yeah.
highest Canadian one, oh, Alberta is third.
Oh,
Second,
nice.
they have second and third. Alberta, what the hell? Actually, we're not doing too bad on that. But
Yeah.
the last one is most improved, which is a Florida hospital.
Nice.
So that's
Yeah,
nice.
I know that last year Sick Kids actually raised quite a lot of money, so I would be shocked if we came in like high up in that category. But I mean, I think we have a real shot at overall dollars and dollars per capita because again, Toronto's pretty big, but even then
Yeah.
Toronto's population is somewhere around the 1 million mark. So, come on, we can do this, guys. 2 cents a
Yeah.
person? Psh, we can do
Keep
this.
keep in mind
We
though
got this.
that this is going to be going on throughout. Like that's what we keep having reminded. Even though we are constantly talking about extra life, we're constantly pimping our team page and our individual pages. This event is happening in 2 weeks, and I remember last year a lot of our team members, including myself, we're going in with like $0 to our names, and it's kind of like, oh man, I don't know how this is going to shake out. But a lot of people wait until the event to donate,
Very
as
true.
sort of like one of those sort of like a, hey man, good for you. You're gonna do great. You're gonna play video games for 25 hours. Here's $10,
To show of
We
support, exactly.
had a lot of that. It was like a morale boost kind of
Hmm.
thing. Not to say we don't want people to donate right now. That'd be great because it's for the kids.
Donate what you can, when you can, if you can.
Exactly. Someone put that on a bumper sticker.
So I've got to say, I mean, these Extra Life people, man, they know their audience because, I mean, not so much Ryan. Ryan is just, we want to raise all the money to help all the kids. And I am like, I have to beat all the people. No
Yeah.
one can be better than me. I need to be number one in the team. I was number two in the team last year because Ryan's mom donated $500.
I think it was just my good looks and charm that got me that donation. Whether it was from my mother or not has nothing to do. It was not from my mother. Honestly, stop perpetuating that rumor.
Totally your mom. Anyways, they are offering all kinds of incentives this year. Last year, it was a t-shirt. They have the t-shirt again this year for everyone who raises $200 or more. But this year, they actually have medals for people who earn $500 and $1,000 for their respective hospitals. And man, they know their competitive gamer audience because I saw that and I was like, oh, I am so doing that.
I want one of them. Like,
I know, so bad.
like people who run in charity marathons, they get stuff. They get medals and say, hey, I could be able to go into work. I wore my Extra Life shirt to work the other day, which is funny because it's like a bright orange shirt. Could you imagine me going in on like November 4th with this bright orange shirt and just a medal hanging out? And they're like, "You ran a marathon? Yeah, I ran in a marathon. I played video games for 25 hours. And
You wouldn't believe how many K my character ran through WoW.
I ran from... I don't want to suggest it because someone's going to make me do it. I'll say it anyway. I ran from one end of Skyrim to the other, and it took 8 hours. It was amazing.
It doesn't take that long.
It's great.
Oh, man.
Don't do that, people, please.
So yes, they do have medals this year, and I haven't actually looked. What's the PlayStation here thing that you've linked? What's PlayStation doing for Extra Life?
We had this in Quickfire, but I figured because we were talking about all the partnerships, it was worth bringing up again. But PlayStation is doing a little bit of the opposite. Rather than giving to the kids, I'm sure they're still giving to the kids in some capacity. They're going to be giving to the participants.
Cool.
There's going to be participants awards, and this is great for you, Jocelyn, because you should probably look into take advantage of this if you're thinking of getting a PlayStation 3. Raise $10, 30-day voucher for PlayStation Plus. Easy. You're already there.
I'm actually already I've already beat all of these awards. I've actually raised $120 so far, and the highest PlayStation reward looks like it's $75 and then most money. So obviously I probably won't get the most money reward, but I'm definitely well past their $75 tier.
Yeah. Well,
thank
there you go.
Everyone who's donated so far, by the way.
Yes. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Yeah, and that's good for you too because it looks like it's limited to the first 50,000 participants or whatever. So I don't know where they stand on that. It looks like PlayStation's actually going to be rewarding participants. And I said this off air, but it's nice to see how Extra Life is sort of evolving to not only get more partnerships for the donations, but to get more partnerships to encourage people to go the extra mile, to join Extra Life, play video games until their eyes bleed. That may happen this year. We're all getting older. Our eyes are getting weaker. Blood may spill from our eyelids.
Maybe yours. Jeez.
Yeah, maybe.
So, yeah, I think that pretty much wraps up our show for tonight. Again, our Extra Life, you can find it at bit.ly/TGI Extra Life 2013. You can donate to anyone on the team from that page. You can support, again, anyone. I'm just repeating myself now because I'm so excited about Extra Life. We have Dills in the notes as our announcement for this week, but I'm 99% sure that we announced him last week and I just forgot to update it. But I don't think that we have announced Clark Petrie yet from Doghouse Systems. So he was on the Doghouse podcast. He and I did Codcast for about 10 episodes. And so he's going to be joining us to play something, possibly some StarCraft. I have to get back at him for absolutely kicking my ass and then posting it on YouTube. So
So wait, that would dictate that you have gotten better at StarCraft. You're going to kick his ass and then post it on YouTube.
Well, I've definitely improved since I played him, but he also plays at the diamond level and I play at the bronze level. So I'm pretty sure I know how that game is going to go. But I mean, maybe my tactics will just be so crazy because I don't actually know what I'm doing that he won't know how to counter me because he'd just be like, who does that?
We should see if he can take two people on at once.
Oh yeah, we should.
Let's do a
Yes,
little
we
comp
should.
stomp, but we'll call it a Clark stomp.
Yes.
Boom! Please don't hurt me.
Yeah. Clark's a big dude, man.
Well, I meant in StarCraft. He's a very nice man. I doubt he would physically harm anybody. Poor
Oh,
thing.
man. So that pretty much wraps up the end of our show. You can visit us on the web at gamersinpodcast.com. You can find us on AMove TV along with other fabulous podcasts including Starcast, Campaign Roundtable, Biggest Fan, AMove Radio, and The Angry Chicken. You can follow us on Twitter. You can find me, Jocelyn at GIS Gamer, Ryan is at R Murphy, and don't forget to follow the show at The Gamers Inn. The video versions of all our episodes can be found on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Jocelyn Moffat. You can also find us on Facebook and Google+. If you'd like to email the show, you can do so at info@gamersinpodcast.com. Before we go, I just want to give a quick shout out and thank you to Greg Moffat for creating our music. You can find him on Twitter at SoundsInfluence. We would also like to thank Joel Duggan, who does all of our graphic work. You can find him and everything he does at joelduggan.com. So thanks for staying at the Gamers Inn, and remember, tune in next week. Bye.
Bye.
Hi, my name's James Bartholomew, and this year I'm going to be playing with the Gamers Inn team for Extra Life Charity on November 2nd. I come from a podcast called Initiative Check, and I'm one of the team that runs IndieLove.com. I stream on www.twitch.tv, that's Yagavos, and that's where you can find me on Twitter at Yagavos. What we're doing for the Extra Life Charity is we're going to be playing games for 25 hours to raise $2,000 for the Children's Miracle Network. What that means is that we're going to be playing whatever you want and streaming it on twitch.tv/AMoveTV. What we want you to do is spread the word and donate to that cause to help us raise that money for the children's games. Come and stop by on the Twitch channel and support us. Come and play games with us. Come and have fun. It's all going to be a blast and it's all going to be very exciting. As I said, 25 hours, and that's a feat. That's going to be really difficult, but it's also going to be a freaking blast. The person that donates most of the team is, as a special prize from the team, is going to get to decide my hair colour for Christmas. Be any dark colour you want, and I'll dye it that colour. I'll video the whole dyeing process, and it'll be up on the internet. So what you need to know mainly is November 2nd, 25 hours, twitch.tv/AmusTV, and the donation page is bit.ly/TGI Extra Life 2013. Thank you for listening to us, thank you for stopping by, and we'll see you then.